Hello class, today is Friday, April 17th, 2020, and today in reading we are going to read What is the Story of Our Flag? But before we start our lesson, let's go ahead and start off by reading our job together. I will read an informational text and tell what I learned. Let's go ahead and begin by thinking about this book. What is the story of our flag? And thinking about, is this book a fiction or nonfiction? So we know that a fiction text is telling us a story. It is probably not real, could not really happen. Then if we think about nonfiction, we know that it is true. It is maybe used to show us how to do something, or it is used to tell us or teach us about something. So we can use the book, the title, and the pictures to help us make a prediction. This says, what is the story of our flag? So if we look at this, do we think that this is going to teach us about something or just tell us a story? If you said this is going to teach us something, you would be correct. The text, what is the story of our flag, is an informational text. And if we look over here to this picture here, let's read together right here where it says informational text. Informational text has supporting evidence or details that tell about a main or central idea. It can have features such as labels. We know that informational text is going to look different than a story that we might open up. And if I open up and read a picture book like this, it's going to look different. And one of the things that an informational text has are labels. If I take this book here, if I look inside my book, I will probably be able to find labels, and we know that labels describe what something tells us more about the picture. And as I'm looking through here, I'm going to find a page that has a label that may tell us a little bit more about the picture. Let's see here. Well, this book so far might be an example of a label next to this picture here. So this is a picture of a bulldozer, and it's labeled with the word bulldozer. We also have a picture here of a roller coaster. And if you look, it's also labeled with the word roller coaster. In a book like this story here, A Perfectly Messed Up Story, you're not going to find labels here. It's a different type of book. This would be an example of a fiction, where this would be an example of a nonfiction. So in this particular text here, what is the story of our flag? It is an informational text. Let's take a look at this example here. Here's a picture, and it's a picture of the Statue of Liberty, and this is pointing right here. This is a label, and I know that we know what labels are because I have you many times label your pictures, and it says torch. So it's pointing to what the Statue of Liberty is holding, and she's holding a torch. Let's read about the Statue of Liberty. The Statue of Liberty is a symbol of freedom. It welcomes people from other countries who want to start a new life in America. So an informational text is going to have a main idea. The main idea is what the text is mostly about, and then it gives us details, tells us more about the main idea. And then you also may see some labels. If we look at our anchor chart here, informational text anchor chart, this is a picture of the Statue of Liberty, and it tells us that We're going to have a main idea what the text is mostly about, and we're going to have details, which is going to be information that tells us more about the main idea. So we're going to go ahead and begin. Before we start, there are a few words that I want to review with you. We're going to see the word stars, field, patch, and stripes. And it all describes the parts of the American flag. Some of these words can have more than one meaning, but if we use our pictures of the flag to help us figure out what the words mean in the context of the text. What is the story of our flags? So we're going to go ahead and get started. Switch over here to our book. What is the story of our flag? Our flag is red, white, and blue. It has stars and stripes. But did you know that the American flag has not always looked the same? Let's take a moment to look at our picture here. And informational text, remember we talked about, may have labels. And these are these words here that are pointing, and it tells us more about the picture that we're looking at. So this says stars, and it's pointing to the stars on the flag. And then stripes, pointing to the stripes on the flag. When our country was new, the leaders decided we needed a flag. Back then there were only 13 states. The first flag had a star and a stripe for each state. So back here it tells us the American flag didn't always look the same. It didn't always look like what we know our flag to be today. Back then it only had one star, and there were only 13 states. So it had the 13 stripes for the states. The first flag had 13 stars and 13 stripes like this one. Count them. Let's count them. Can we? Let's see. We'll start with this top one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10, 11, 12, 13. 13 stars and then 13 stripes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 stripes. Who made the first flag? No one knows for sure. Some people think it was a seamstress who lived in Philadelphia. Her name was Betsy Ross. What does the word seamstress mean? Let's take a look at this picture here. The label is pointing to this person here, and it says seamstress. If we use the picture to help us figure out what a seamstress is. If I look closely, I can tell that she's holding on to part of the flag, and it looks like she may have a needle and thread in her hand. So using the clues in this picture would tell me that a seamstress is someone who makes things, who sews things. Over the years, new states joined the country. Stars were added to the blue field. Sometimes the stars were in a circle. Other times they were in rows. Sometimes stripes were added too. Our flag today has 50 stars. There is one for each state. It has 13 stripes for the first 13 states. When people see the flag, they think of our country. So if we take a look here, this is the flag in 1776. The stars were all in a circle, 13 stars and then 13 stripes. 1777 looks a little different. 1803. 1851. Can you count the stars and stripes on these old flags? If you look really closely, you probably could. So, we are done reading about our flag. Let's just go back through the book. Come back this way. What are these called here? That tell more about the picture. And here too. Remember those are called labels. We have another label here pointing to this person here. And here is another label, and it says field. The blue field. This is what they're talking about when they say stars were added to the blue field. And then we have headings here that show the dates of the flags. They kind of changed over time. So now let's go back to our lesson and let's think about what we have learned today about the flag. Can you think about something new that you learned about this flag? I want you to think about at least 2 things that you learned that you can share with me in your journal here. Let's see. I'm going to start here with, I learned about the flag looked different, that it changed over time. Sometimes the stars were in circles. Those are 2 things that I learned. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to open up my journal, write my date up here at the top, and I want you to start with this sentence stem. Today, I read, what is the story of our flag? Period. I learned, and then you tell me 2 things that you learned from reading this text. What is the story of our flag? Remember, you can always go back and listen to this lesson video again so that you can hear me read the story, the text, what is the story of our flag to you again. If you have any questions on what to do, feel free to reach out to me. When you finish this assignment, you will snap a picture of it and have mom or dad send me a picture through Class Dojo. Have a great day, guys.